My name is Patrick Parrinder, and I've written a book fairly recently called Utopia, Literature and Science, looking mainly at literary utopias from the 16th to the 20th century. And probably in that book there is very little about food. I think the idea of, prioritizing an interest in food in literary utopia is a fairly new one, and I'm enormously stimulated by the work that's being done here on Utopia and Foodways. To me, what is particularly interesting is the connection between food and social power. And if you look at the work of anthropologists and archaeologists, for example, one finds how crucial food, the provision, production, consumption of food is to social organization as a whole. And this has often been unrecognized. It is why food is such an important topic in utopias, which of course are very much about the organization or reorganization of society. Sometimes it's quite obvious in reading a utopia that food is important. There's a big scene when the visitor arrives in Utopia and they have their first breakfast or whatever it is, and you get a very strong sense of utopia from that. But there are other utopias where it's not at all obvious that food is a topic. And if we look at it, though, analytically with food in mind, we will find something new, I think. To give you an example, actually Plato's Republic, the first utopia in many ways, the first literary utopia based on the idea of the city. And there's almost nothing about food in Plato's construction of utopia. He's concerned with social justice and happiness and so on and so forth. And he's concerned with the different classes of people, but he has almost no interest in the people who produce and prepare the food. He's interested in the class called the guardians, the military defenders of the state. And it's only if you ask, why does the state need to be defended? Plato never asked that question, but if you ask that, probably the main answer is to protect the food supply, because without a food supply, a city is unsustainable. So that's just an example of how, bringing the idea of food will give you a new reading of a classic in the literary canon where you might never have thought that food was of any importance. So I just think this is a fascinating topic, and I'm very happy to be invited to this conference and to be, in that way, I hope, helping to develop the project that's being put together here.